Paimon is one of the most powerful demons in classical demonology, ranked as a king of hell and often considered second in command only to Lucifer. His presence in grimoires and esoteric texts has been recorded for centuries, and his legend continues to be studied by occultists and historians. Unlike many demons known for chaos or destruction, Paimon is associated with knowledge, wisdom, and hidden power. His followers seek him not for simple material gain, but for deep, often forbidden, insight. Paimon's position in the hierarchy of hell, in the Ars Goetia, one of the most influential books on demonology, Paimon is listed as the ninth spirit, but is given the title of king, indicating high rank. According to the text, he commands 200 legions of demons, though some sources suggest a lower number of 85 legions. These legions include both fallen angels and spirits from various infernal orders, particularly the Order of Powers, a classification of celestial beings that were once tasked with maintaining universal balance before they rebelled. Paimon's status as a king distinguishes him from lower-ranking demons who act as tempters or tormentors. His role is strategic, serving as one of Hell's most influential figures. He does not operate independently, but serves under Lucifer and takes orders from no other demon. This makes him unique in the demonic hierarchy. His position is that of a ruler, not merely a servant, and he is often invoked for purposes beyond personal gain. The first accounts of Paimon, the earliest known written account of Paimon, appears in the Pseudomonarchia Demonum, a grimoire compiled in the 16th century by the demonologist Johann Weyer. In this text, Paimon is described as a grand king who appears with a royal procession, accompanied by a host of spirits playing trumpets, cymbals, and other instruments. This reflects his high rank and the reverence with which he is regarded in Hell's order. However, references to Paimon's power and influence likely date back much further. Some scholars believe that his origins may be traced to Mesopotamian or Middle Eastern mythology, where deities associated with wisdom and hidden knowledge were later demonized. The transformation of gods into demons was common throughout history, as new religious movements sought to redefine previous belief systems. Theories on Paimon's ancient origins. There are multiple theories regarding the origin of Paimon's name and pre-Christian history. Some believe his name is linked to Paimonia, an obscure reference to an ancient ruler or deity. Others suggest it has Hebrew or Aramaic origins, though direct linguistic connections remain uncertain. One compelling theory is that Paimon's attributes as a teacher of hidden knowledge align with Mesopotamian gods associated with wisdom, such as Ea, Enki, Nabu, or Thoth in Egyptian mythology. Many ancient deities, particularly those linked to esoteric knowledge, the stars and secret wisdom, were later reclassified as demons by emerging monotheistic traditions. If Paimon was once revered as a divine figure, his demonization likely occurred during the expansion of Christian and Islamic theology, which often reinterpreted older deities as fallen spirits or corrupt entities. This pattern is visible in the transformation of Baal, Osteroth, and Beelzebub, all of whom were once worshipped but later vilified. Paimon's role in the occult throughout the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. Occult scholars and practitioners of demonology sought out Paimon for his vast knowledge rather than his destructive capabilities. Unlike demons associated with temptation, war, or destruction, Paimon was believed to offer intellectual enlightenment and hidden truths about the universe. Texts describing his summoning emphasize that Paimon does not give knowledge freely. Those who seek his wisdom must offer something in return. This is consistent with the general belief in occult traditions that all power comes at a cost. Many who invoked Paimon did so to gain insight into alchemy, astronomy, philosophy, or even political manipulation. Some sources claim that nobles and rulers consulted him to secure their positions, as he was said to grant power over others. Paimon was also linked to sorcery, divination, and secret sciences. Unlike demons known for reckless destruction, his influence was considered more strategic, guiding those who sought to understand and manipulate reality itself. However, historical accounts warn that such wisdom can become a curse rather than a gift. Paimon's appearance and attributes. Descriptions of Paimon's physical form have remained relatively consistent across grimoires. He is said to appear as a regal figure, wearing a crown, with noble and androgynous features. His voice is deafening, and those who summon him must request that he speak more softly, as his natural tone is too powerful for humans to withstand. One of his most distinctive traits is his mode of arrival. He does not simply appear when summoned, he comes with a grand procession of spirits, musicians, and attendants, emphasizing his status as a king. His mount is traditionally depicted as a dromedary one-humped camel, which may symbolize his Middle Eastern connections. Paimon's sigil, found in demonological texts, is a complex seal that represents his authority. It is used by occultists to invoke his presence, though many texts warn that summoning him improperly can lead to serious consequences. Paimon's powers and abilities. The most notable aspect of Paimon's power is his control over knowledge. He is believed to possess secrets of the earth, the cosmos, and the mind, making him one of the most sought-after demons in esoteric traditions. His abilities include mastery of arts and sciences. Paimon can teach all disciplines, from music to mathematics, offering knowledge that extends beyond normal human capabilities. Revealing hidden truths, he is believed to uncover secrets, whether related to nature, philosophy, or supernatural mysteries. Control over the mind. Paimon can influence thoughts and perceptions, making him a valuable entity for those seeking power over others. Bestowing familiar spirits. He grants spiritual familiars, spirits that assist magicians and protect them from harm. Granting dignitary titles and authority. Paimon is often invoked by those who seek leadership roles, as he can elevate a person's status. The price of knowledge. Despite his vast abilities, historical accounts emphasize that seeking Paimon's wisdom is not without risk. Many who have invoked him have found themselves unable to handle the knowledge he provides. Some records suggest that prolonged contact with Paimon can lead to madness, obsession, or a loss of free will. Additionally, while Paimon can grant power, he is also known to test those who summon him. He does not serve blindly, and his teachings often come with hidden consequences. Many occultists warn that dealing with him requires absolute caution, as what may seem like a gift of wisdom can quickly turn into a burden too great to bear. The hierarchy of hell and Paimon's role. Paimon's position in demonology is unique. Unlike lower-ranking demons, he is not a mere tempter or trickster. He is a king, one of the highest authorities in hell, second only to Lucifer himself. His influence extends beyond destruction or corruption. He is a ruler, a teacher, and a figure of immense knowledge. The Ars Goetia, a key text in the Lesser Key of Solomon, describes Paimon as a demon of wisdom and secrets. He is one of the few demons who does not take orders from any infernal prince other than Lucifer. This absolute loyalty makes him a trusted figure within hell's hierarchy, unlike other demons who often scheme and betray for power. According to the texts, Paimon commands 200 legions of demons, though some sources claim 85 legions. These legions consist of different types of spirits. Some were once angels who fell with Lucifer, while others are ancient entities bound to Paimon's service. His army includes members of the Order of Powers, a classification of celestial beings that were originally tasked with maintaining cosmic order before their fall. His high status means he is rarely summoned without consequence. While lesser demons can be compelled through rituals, Paimon demands respect. He does not appear unless properly invoked, and when he does, it is with a grand procession, trumpets, cymbals, and spirits that announce his arrival. This is not an entity that comes and goes at a magician's whim. Those who seek his presence must be prepared for the price of his knowledge. The origins of Paimon's name. The name Paimon has uncertain origins, but some historians believe it may be linked to Mesopotamian deities. The similarity between his title and certain gods of wisdom suggests a possible transformation over time. Many pre-Christian deities were later reinterpreted as demons, especially those associated with knowledge or forbidden wisdom. Some sources claim his name is derived from Paimonia, an ancient term referring to a hidden ruler. Others suggest it has roots in Hebrew, though no direct connection has been confirmed. Regardless of its origin, Paimon's name has carried through centuries, appearing in multiple grimoires and occult texts. Paimon's appearance and symbols. The descriptions of Paimon's appearance are consistent across various texts. He is often depicted as a man with delicate, almost feminine features, wearing a golden crown and dressed in royal garments. His presence is always regal, emphasizing his status as a king. One of his most distinctive attributes is his mount, a dromedary, a one-humped camel. This may be symbolic of his connection to the Middle East, hinting at a possible origin in ancient cultures. When summoned, his voice is described as loud and commanding, almost too powerful for human ears. The magician must ask him to lower his voice in order to communicate properly. This detail suggests that Paimon is not an entity meant to interact with humans casually. His power is overwhelming, and even a controlled invocation must be done with caution. His sigil, used in summoning rituals, consists of complex patterns that resemble a seal of royalty. This symbol is believed to grant access to his knowledge, but is also a mark of his dominion over those who invoke him. Paimon's powers and abilities. Paimon is often described as a demon of knowledge, but his abilities extend beyond mere wisdom. He grants secrets of the natural world, including the forces of earth, wind, and water. He is known to reveal hidden truths, providing insight into philosophy, science, and the structure of the universe. Many who seek his aid do so not for material gain, but for intellectual power. Throughout history, certain scholars and alchemists were rumored to have consulted spirits like Paimon in their quest for enlightenment. His knowledge was said to include astronomy, mathematics, and hidden laws of existence, things beyond ordinary human comprehension. Beyond his role as a teacher, Paimon also possesses abilities that make him one of the most formidable demons: mind control and influence. He can sway people's thoughts, making them more receptive to the summoner's will. This ability is why some occultists invoked him for political or social power. Granting familiar spirits. He bestows spiritual familiars, entities that assist the summoner in magical practices. These spirits are believed to serve the magician, providing guidance and protection. Dignitary titles and wealth. Paimon can grant noble titles or elevate a person's status, making them respected or feared by those around them. Summoning spirits of the dead. In some accounts, Paimon has the ability to communicate with the dead or summon spirits in various forms. Teaching arts and sciences. His knowledge includes a vast range of subjects, from art to advanced sciences, making him one of the most sought-after demons by occult scholars. The cost of summoning Paimon. Unlike minor demons who can be controlled with proper rituals, Paimon is not easily bound. Those who summon him without proper knowledge often face serious consequences. In many cases, he demands an offering, sometimes a symbolic sacrifice, sometimes something more personal. The nature of this offering varies, but one thing remains clear: Paimon does not give knowledge freely. There is always a price. Some historical accounts suggest that Paimon requires total obedience from those who invoke him. If he is summoned without proper respect, he can become hostile or refuse to assist. His presence is not merely that of a teacher, it is a test. The summoner must prove themselves worthy of his wisdom. Additionally, while Paimon can provide great insight, his knowledge is not always a gift. Many who seek forbidden truths find themselves burdened by what they learn. Some records indicate that prolonged contact with Paimon can lead to obsession, paranoia, or even madness. The weight of his knowledge is not meant for everyone, and those unprepared to handle it often suffer as a result. Paimon's role in occult history. Throughout history, Paimon has been invoked by those seeking power, influence, and forbidden knowledge. During the Renaissance, a time of great interest in alchemy and the occult, many European scholars attempted to contact him, believing his guidance could unlock the secrets of the universe. Occultists, such as Eliphas Levi and Aleister Crowley, referenced Paimon in their studies, though his role in their practices remains unclear. Some secret societies, particularly those that explored ritual magic, considered Paimon one of the most dangerous yet valuable entities to summon. Even in modern times, Paimon's name continues to appear in discussions of demonology and esoteric knowledge. His presence in films like Hereditary 2018 introduced him to mainstream audiences, though his portrayal in fiction is far from the full truth. Rituals, summoning, and the consequences of invocation, the process of summoning Paimon. Throughout history, Paimon has been invoked by occultists, scholars, and seekers of knowledge. Unlike lower-ranking demons, he does not simply appear upon command. His summoning requires a precise ritual, strict adherence to ancient instructions, and a significant offering. He is a demon of authority, and summoning him improperly can lead to dangerous consequences. The Ars Goetia describes the necessary steps for his invocation. The summoning must be performed at night, preferably during a waxing moon, when spiritual energies are said to be strongest. Unlike lesser demons who may be called upon with simple incantations, Paimon demands an elaborate ceremonial process. Preparation for the ritual. Before summoning Paimon, the magician must prepare a ritual circle, ensuring that it is properly sealed with protective symbols. This is crucial, as high-ranking demons are known to be resistant to weaker forms of magical containment. The sigil of Paimon must be drawn with precision, often using chalk, blood, or specially consecrated ink. A protective barrier is also recommended, as Paimon's presence is overwhelming. Those who fail to prepare may experience severe physical or psychological effects, as Paimon's energy is believed to be too intense for an untrained mind. Offerings and tribute. Unlike some demons, who are appeased with simple sacrifices or material wealth, Paimon's offering is primarily one of respect and knowledge. However, some accounts suggest that he expects a sacrifice in exchange for his wisdom. Traditional offerings include gold or precious metals, symbolizing Paimon's royal status. Frankincense, a key element in many Paimon invocations, as it is said to please him and ease his manifestation. Blood offerings. In certain occult traditions, a drop of the summoner's own blood is required to establish a direct connection. Once the offering is placed within the ritual circle, the incantation is recited. Paimon does not respond immediately. His arrival is announced by distant sounds of trumpets and drums. Many historical accounts describe hearing disembodied voices, whispers, or deep vibrations before his form becomes visible. The appearance of Paimon. When Paimon manifests, he often appears as a regal figure, wearing a crown adorned with pearls. His voice is deafening, requiring the summoner to request that he lower his volume to be understood. This detail is emphasized in multiple grimoires and suggests that his true form exists beyond human perception. He is almost always accompanied by a procession of spirits who herald his arrival with music, chants, and an overwhelming sense of power. His mount, a dromedary camel, is believed to symbolize wisdom, endurance, and his connection to ancient Middle Eastern traditions. Some descriptions also portray him as androgynous, which aligns with the theory that Paimon was once associated with deities of duality and knowledge in pre-Christian belief systems. The knowledge Paimon grants. Paimon's primary power is the gift of knowledge. He is said to possess an understanding of the universe, human nature, and the occult arts that surpasses all other demons. Those who invoke him do so not for simple favors, but for insights that can reshape their perception of reality. The knowledge he offers includes the hidden forces of nature, understanding how elements interact, granting power over earth, wind, and water. Astronomical and mathematical wisdom. Many historical figures who studied the stars and alchemy were rumored to have sought Paimon's guidance. Psychological manipulation. The ability to control thoughts, influence decisions, and alter perceptions. Political power and strategy. Paimon is known to assist in securing leadership roles and influence over others. Summoning other spirits. As a king of hell, Paimon has authority over other demons and can grant access to their knowledge as well. However, his knowledge comes with a significant price. While many seek him for wisdom, few are prepared for the psychological and spiritual consequences that follow. The risks of summoning Paimon. Paimon is not a demon who can be dismissed easily. Many historical records warn that once summoned, his presence lingers. Some occultists claim that even after banishing him, he continues to influence their thoughts and dreams. The primary dangers associated with summoning Paimon include 1. Overwhelming mental influence. Those who engage with Paimon often report experiencing intrusive thoughts, hallucinations, and an obsession with hidden knowledge. Some believe that he does not simply grant wisdom, he changes the way a person thinks. 2. The cost of knowledge. Many historical accounts describe scholars who sought Paimon's guidance, losing their humanity in the process. The knowledge he grants often reshapes the way one sees reality, making ordinary life feel meaningless. 3. Possession and loss of free will. Some records indicate that prolonged interaction with Paimon can lead to a gradual loss of autonomy, as he demands increasing levels of obedience. Occultists who have worked with him claim that he expects devotion in return for his gifts. 4. Difficulty in banishing him. Unlike lower demons, who can be dismissed with standard rituals, Paimon's influence is harder to remove. His connection to the summoner may persist for years, even if they attempt to sever ties. 5. Physical manifestations. Some who have invoked Paimon report experiencing strange physical sensations, including a feeling of being watched, unexplained whispers, and objects moving on their own. These occurrences are believed to be signs that his presence has not fully departed. Historical cases of Paimon's influence throughout history. There have been rumors of scholars, rulers, and occultists seeking Paimon's assistance. Some of the most notable cases include Renaissance alchemists. Several alchemists of the 16th and 17th centuries were believed to have contacted Paimon in their pursuit of hidden knowledge. Their texts often reference a spirit of wisdom who grants scientific insights. Secret societies. Some esoteric groups, including certain branches of Freemasonry and Rosicrucianism, were rumored to have explored demonology as part of their mystical studies. Paimon's name appears in several obscure writings linked to these societies. Occult figures of the 19th and 20th century. Eliphas Levi, one of the most famous occultists of the 19th century, referenced Paimon in his discussions of ceremonial magic. Aleister Crowley, founder of Thelema, was also rumored to have studied Pymon's role in the infernal hierarchy. Conclusion: the legacy of Pymon's legend, endures not just because of his power, but because of what he represents. He is a figure that embodies forbidden knowledge, ambition, and the cost of wisdom. Many who seek him do so with curiosity, but few fully understand the consequences of his presence. Pymon's resurgence in popular culture, despite being an obscure figure in demonology for centuries, Pymon has experienced a resurgence in modern culture. His presence in horror films, literature, and occult circles has led to a new wave of fascination with his legend. In particular, the 2018 film Hereditary, directed by Ari Aster, brought his name into the mainstream, introducing audiences to a version of his mythology that was both terrifying and symbolic. However, Pymon's modern portrayal often diverges from traditional demonological texts. His role in fiction is frequently exaggerated, omitting key details about his historical and occult significance. This has led to a blend of myth, truth, and artistic interpretation that shapes how he is perceived today. Pymon in Hereditary 2018, a distorted interpretation. The most well-known modern depiction of Pymon comes from Hereditary, where he is presented as a powerful demon influencing a family curse. In the film, the cult surrounding Pymon seeks to prepare a male host for his spirit, manipulating events to ensure his manifestation in the physical world. While the film correctly references Pymon's status as a king of hell, it alters several aspects of his mythology, including the idea that Pymon requires a male host. This is a creative liberty taken by the film, as historical sources do not mention such a requirement. The portrayal of his summoning as a multi-generational cult effort. While real occult practices involve extensive rituals, there is no historical precedent for a hereditary bloodline connection to Pymon. The suggestion that he demands human sacrifice. Though Pymon does require an offering in occult traditions, there is no consistent evidence that he demands physical human sacrifices in classical demonology. Despite these inaccuracies, Hereditary successfully revived interest in Pymon, leading many to research his true origins. This has resulted in an increase in online discussions, occult forums, and independent studies about his historical significance. The occult community's view on Pymon beyond popular media. Pymon holds a significant place in modern occult practices. In contemporary demonology, he is often approached as a source of wisdom rather than a figure of fear. Some practitioners view him as a teacher spirit, capable of revealing deep insights into the nature of reality, human consciousness, and cosmic truths. Several esoteric groups and practitioners of theistic Satanism, Luciferianism, and chaos magic have incorporated Pymon into their spiritual systems. Unlike Christian demonology, which portrays him as an adversary, modern occultists often see him as a guide to hidden knowledge, a protector of esoteric wisdom, a source of mental and strategic power. Some even claim that Pymon grants inspiration to artists, writers, and musicians, helping them tap into creative depths they would not otherwise reach. This belief aligns with historical records of occultists seeking his aid in alchemy, philosophy, and the sciences. However, the warnings associated with his invocation remain unchanged. Even among practitioners who respect Pymon, there is widespread caution regarding his potential for influence over thoughts, perceptions, and emotions. Cases of alleged contact with Pymon. Over the centuries, there have been numerous accounts of individuals claiming to have successfully summoned and communicated with Pymon. While many of these stories remain unverifiable, some have persisted as notable cases in occult history. The 17th century alchemist's encounter. A French alchemist,
whose name has been lost to history, allegedly summoned Paimon in the hopes of discovering the Philosopher's Stone, a mythical substance believed to grant eternal life. According to records found in occult manuscripts, the alchemist documented a series of conversations with a spirit identifying itself as Paimon. The spirit allegedly provided knowledge of secret alchemical formulas, which the alchemist attempted to use. However, after months of experimentation, he mysteriously disappeared, leaving behind only his writings. Some occult scholars believe his obsession with the demon's teachings led to his demise, either through madness or otherworldly consequences. 2. The occultist of Victorian England. During the late 19th century, a London-based occultist named Frederick Hargrove claimed to have summoned Paimon through a ritual described in the Lemegeton, Lesser Key of Solomon. Hargrove sought power over financial and political affairs, believing Paimon could influence those in positions of authority. According to Hargrove's accounts, the ritual succeeded, and he began to experience heightened mental clarity and persuasive abilities. However, he also reported recurring dreams in which Paimon demanded further devotion. In his final writings, he warned that once a pact is made with Paimon, his influence does not fade easily. Hargrove's later years were marked by erratic behavior, and he ultimately vanished under mysterious circumstances. Some occult historians suspect his deal with Paimon exacted a price he was unwilling or unable to pay. 3. The modern-day internet summoning attempt. In the early 2000s, an anonymous user on an occult forum claimed to have conducted a successful summoning of Paimon, detailing a ritual performed in a remote location. The user provided detailed instructions, symbols, and incantations, which were later debated among practitioners. Shortly after posting, the user began reporting strange occurrences, including sudden shifts in perception and thought patterns, unexplained auditory hallucinations, whispers and distant music, a growing sense of mental detachment from reality. The final update from this individual stated that they were struggling to end the connection, as Paimon continued to appear in their dreams. After that, no further posts were made. To this day, some believe the user suffered mental consequences from the ritual, while skeptics argue it was merely psychological suggestion. Paimon's influence on modern demonology. As interest in demonology and occult studies continues to rise, Paimon remains a central figure in discussions about forbidden knowledge and spiritual power. Unlike some demons who are invoked for destructive or chaotic purposes, he is frequently sought for intellectual enlightenment. However, the risk of obsession is one of the most commonly cited dangers of working with Paimon. Many accounts, both historical and modern, suggest that his knowledge is not meant for all, and that those who seek it must be prepared to handle the consequences. In contemporary occultism, Paimon is often categorized among non-malevolent spirits who demand strict respect and proper protocol. He is not considered inherently malicious, but his presence is overwhelming, and he is known to test those who summon him. Conclusion: the lasting legacy of Paimon. Paimon's reputation as one of the most powerful demons has only grown over time. His presence in historical texts, occult practices, and modern horror media ensures that his legend will continue to captivate those who seek mystical knowledge and power. Whether he is truly a demon of wisdom, a fallen angel, or a remnant of an ancient deity, his role in esoteric traditions remains one of the most compelling and enduring in all of demonology.
The science behind demonic encounters. Throughout history, individuals have reported experiences with Paimon and other demons, often describing vivid hallucinations, physical sensations, and a sense of an overwhelming presence. While religious and occult traditions interpret these encounters as spiritual manifestations, modern psychology and neuroscience offer alternative explanations. One of the leading theories regarding demonic experiences is that they stem from psychological and neurological factors, including sleep paralysis and hypnagogic hallucinations, cognitive biases, and cultural conditioning. The power of suggestion and belief. Dissociative states induced by ritual practices. Understanding these factors does not necessarily disprove the existence of paimon or demons, but it provides a framework for analyzing why people have these experiences and why they feel real to those who undergo them. Sleep paralysis and hallucinations. One of the most well-documented causes of perceived demonic encounters is sleep paralysis. This condition occurs when a person becomes conscious while still in a sleep-like state, leading to an inability to move and, in many cases, terrifying hallucinations. Many reports of demonic visitations share key characteristics with sleep paralysis: a sense of an overwhelming presence in the room, shadowy or humanoid figures appearing nearby, hearing disembodied voices or whispers, feeling pressure on the chest or body. In historical contexts, sleep paralysis was often interpreted as a spiritual attack, reinforcing the belief that demons such as paimon were manifesting in physical reality. However, neuroscience suggests that these experiences are caused by a temporary disruption in the brain's ability to transition between sleep and wakefulness. The role of cultural and religious conditioning belief systems shape how individuals interpret unexplained phenomena. If someone is raised in an environment that associates supernatural experiences with demons, they are more likely to perceive strange psychological or sensory phenomena as demonic encounters. A study conducted on religious and non-religious individuals experiencing sleep paralysis found that religious participants were more likely to interpret their experiences as demonic visitations or spiritual attacks. Non-religious participants were more likely to attribute their experiences to neurological or psychological causes. This suggests that belief in entities like paimon can shape how the brain processes unusual experiences. The more one immerses themselves in occult texts, rituals, and demonology, the more likely they are to perceive events through that framework. The power of ritual and the placebo effect. Another major psychological factor in demonic summoning is the ritualistic process itself. Ceremonial magic, including the invocation of paimon, often involves repetitive chanting and incantations, symbolic gestures and movements, deep concentration, and altered states of consciousness. These elements closely resemble hypnosis and meditative techniques, both of which have been shown to alter perception and induce hallucinations. Some scientists argue that rituals enhance suggestibility, making the participant more likely to experience what they expect. This is similar to the placebo effect, in which belief alone can cause real physical and psychological changes. If someone believes that summoning paimon will lead to visions or supernatural occurrences, their mind may produce these effects, even without an external entity being present. Dissociative states and trance-like experiences. Many occultists report entering a trance-like state during summoning rituals, often describing sensations of detachment from reality, auditory distortions, or visual hallucinations. These experiences are strikingly similar to documented cases of dissociative identity disorder, DID's schizotypal personality traits. Meditative and trance states observed in religious experiences. Studies on brain activity during altered states of consciousness have shown that deep focus and ritual engagement can suppress certain brain functions while enhancing others, leading to intense, otherworldly experiences. Some anthropologists believe that ancient shamans and mystics accessed similar states through chanting, fasting, and sensory deprivation, which may explain why many cultures have records of spirit communication. Can Paimon be a psychological archetype? In Jungian psychology, demons and deities can be interpreted as archetypes, symbolic representations of deep psychological forces. Paimon, as a demon of wisdom, hidden knowledge and influence, may represent the pursuit of forbidden knowledge, the temptation of intellectual power at a cost, the struggle between ambition and morality. Jung proposed that myths and religious figures emerge from the collective unconscious, influencing human behavior and experiences. From this perspective, invoking Paimon may be less about summoning an external being and more about awakening a hidden part of the human psyche. This could explain why some occultists report gaining insight after summoning Paimon. They may be tapping into their own latent intelligence and creativity rather than receiving wisdom from a supernatural entity. The intersection of science and the supernatural. While modern psychology provides explanations for many demonic encounters, it does not completely dismiss the possibility of genuine paranormal phenomena. Some researchers in the field of parapsychology argue that consciousness itself is not fully understood, and that there may be aspects of reality beyond current scientific models. Key debates in this field include: do human minds create supernatural experiences, or do external forces influence perception? Can intense belief manifest real-world consequences, even if the entity itself does not exist? Are demons like Paimon metaphysical beings, psychological constructs, or a combination of both? Many scientists remain skeptical, arguing that all reported encounters with demons can be explained through neuroscience and psychology. However, others acknowledge that certain phenomena remain unexplained, leaving open the possibility of paranormal interactions beyond current understanding. Cases where science and occult practices overlap. Some documented cases show an overlap between psychology, supernatural beliefs, and real-world effects. 1. The experiment of Philip the Ghost. In the 1970s, Canadian researchers conducted an experiment in which a group of people created an imaginary spirit named Philip through collective belief. Over time, they began to experience real poltergeist-like activity, suggesting that belief alone could generate seemingly supernatural events. Could this same principle apply to Paimon? If enough people believe in him, could their collective focus manifest real effects? 2. The effect of meditation and chanting on the brain. MRI studies on monks and mystics engaging in deep meditation and chanting reveal increased activity in certain brain regions. These altered states can cause experiences identical to those reported in demon summoning rituals, supporting the theory that such encounters are neurological in nature. Conclusion: the mystery of Paimon in a scientific context. Paimon remains one of the most intriguing figures in demonology, not only because of his historical significance, but also because of the psychological and neurological effects associated with his summoning. Whether he is a literal supernatural being, a manifestation of the subconscious, or a self-reinforcing belief system, his influence on human perception is undeniable. Science provides many compelling explanations for why people experience demonic encounters, but it does not fully dismiss the possibility of forces beyond our current understanding. The debate over Paimon's existence and the nature of supernatural experiences in general continues to challenge both skeptics and believers. In the next part, we will explore how Paimon and other demons have influenced literature, religious texts, and philosophical thought throughout history, examining their impact on human morality, ethics, and the pursuit of hidden knowledge. The concept of forbidden knowledge in history. Throughout human history, the pursuit of hidden knowledge has been both celebrated and condemned. Figures like Prometheus, Faust, and Lucifer represent the temptation to acquire wisdom at any cost, often leading to unintended consequences. Paimon, as a demon associated with intelligence, manipulation, and esoteric insight, fits within this framework. Many belief systems emphasize the idea that some knowledge is not meant for humans. From the biblical story of the Tree of Knowledge to Plato's allegory of the cave, we see a recurring theme: those who seek truth beyond conventional boundaries risk suffering or destruction. In demonology, Paimon is often invoked by those who wish to transcend human limitations. However, his presence also serves as a warning that wisdom without morality can lead to ruin. Paimon in religious texts and interpretations. Paimon does not appear in the Bible, Quran, or Torah, yet his demonic archetype can be found in multiple religious traditions. Biblical parallels: the fall of Lucifer. Though Paimon is not mentioned in Christian scripture, his role as a demon of knowledge resembles certain fallen angels who defied divine order. Lucifer, the light-bringer, cast down for seeking divine wisdom beyond his place. Azazel from the Book of Enoch taught forbidden knowledge to humanity, leading to corruption. Samael, the accuser, represents the danger of questioning divine authority. In this sense, Paimon can be seen as part of the rebellious celestial beings who defied divine will in exchange for power. 2. Islamic traditions. The jinn and hidden knowledge. In Islamic demonology, Paimon is sometimes associated with the jinn, supernatural beings made of smokeless fire. Some scholars compare him to Iblis, the jinn who refused to bow to Adam, valuing knowledge over obedience. Harut and Marut, two angels who descended to earth and taught forbidden magic to humans. Paimon's attributes align with the Islamic concept of hidden wisdom, which warns that not all knowledge leads to enlightenment. Some can lead to destruction. 3. Occult and Kabbalistic interpretations. In Jewish mysticism, Kabbalah, the pursuit of hidden knowledge is central. Some interpretations suggest that Paimon represents the shadow side of wisdom, where learning is detached from ethics. The temptation of human intellect, mirroring the Qliphoth, the dark counterpart of the Tree of Life. This aligns with the idea that seeking knowledge for power, rather than enlightenment, leads to spiritual decay. Paimon and the ethical dilemma of power. Paimon is not simply a demon of wisdom, he is a demon of influence. Those who invoke him seek not just understanding, but the ability to control and manipulate. This raises ethical questions about the use of knowledge. 1. Should all knowledge be pursued? Many philosophers and theologians have debated whether some truths are too dangerous to explore. Socrates argued that wisdom should lead to virtue, not power. Machiavelli taught that knowledge can justify manipulation for political gain. Nietzsche warned that unrestricted pursuit of power leads to the will to dominate. Paimon embodies this dilemma. His wisdom is powerful, but it does not guarantee moral clarity. 2. The Faustian bargain. The cost of knowledge. One of the most famous cautionary tales in literature is Dr. Faust, a man who sold his soul to the demon Mephistopheles in exchange for knowledge and power. His story reflects a common theme: knowledge gained too easily is often misused. Power without responsibility leads to downfall. Those who seek shortcuts to wisdom often pay with their soul. Paimon, like Mephistopheles, represents the temptation of easy answers, but the price is always higher than expected. 3. Modern ethical implications, AI and forbidden knowledge. In today's world, the pursuit of intellectual power is more relevant than ever. Artificial intelligence is reshaping human capabilities, but at what cost? Biotechnology and genetic modification raise questions about the limits of human intervention. Psychological manipulation, marketing, politics, social media mirrors the very abilities attributed to Paimon.
These real-world dilemmas reflect the same warnings found in demonology. Knowledge can be a tool for enlightenment or a weapon of control. Philosophical views on demonic entities. Some philosophers and occultists argue that demons are not literal beings, but represent aspects of the human mind. This aligns with psychological theories that view figures like Paimon as archetypes of the subconscious mind. 1. Carl Jung and the shadow self. Jung believed that myths and demons represent hidden parts of human psychology. Paimon, as a demon of knowledge and power, may symbolize the shadow self, where repressed desires for control and wisdom exist. The temptation to manipulate others rather than seek truth for its own sake. In this sense, summoning Paimon could be seen as engaging with the hidden aspects of one's own intellect, a reflection of the internal struggle between ambition and morality. The existentialist view philosophers like Sartre and Camus argued that humans must create their own meaning in a chaotic universe. If Paimon represents forbidden knowledge, then is he truly evil, or does he simply provide access to truth? Does seeking knowledge always require a moral price? Is power inherently corrupting, or does it depend on the person using it? These questions highlight the complexity of engaging with forces beyond human comprehension. Paimon's role in esoteric traditions. Many occult traditions do not view Paimon as purely evil, but as a neutral force, a gatekeeper of hidden knowledge. 1. The left-hand path versus right-hand path. The right-hand path sees knowledge as a means of spiritual growth. The left-hand path embraces knowledge for personal power, regardless of consequences. Paimon is often invoked in left-hand path traditions, where knowledge is pursued without fear of divine judgment. 2. The influence of Paimon in alchemy. In medieval alchemy, demons were sometimes consulted for insights into the transformation of matter and spirit. Paimon's reputation as a teacher of hidden wisdom made him a sought-after entity. 3. The Luciferian perspective. In Luciferian traditions, Paimon is viewed as a patron of enlightenment, helping individuals break free from religious dogma, develop self-mastery and strategic intelligence, gain insight into the forces that shape reality. Conclusion: the lasting legacy of Paimon in human thought. Paimon is more than a demon. He is a symbol of the eternal human struggle between wisdom and morality. His presence in philosophy, religion, and ethics reflects an ongoing debate. Should all knowledge be pursued, regardless of the consequences? Is the cost of wisdom worth the risk of corruption? Can one seek power while remaining morally intact? These questions remain just as relevant today as they were in ancient times. Whether Paimon is a literal entity, a psychological archetype, or a philosophical concept, his influence on human thought and the pursuit of knowledge continues to shape history. In the next part, we will explore how different cultures perceive demons, the similarities between Paimon and figures in world mythology, and the role of the supernatural across civilizations. The universal nature of demon kings throughout history. Different cultures have developed hierarchies of supernatural beings, with many featuring a king of spirits or a ruler of hidden knowledge. Although Paimon is primarily known from Western demonology, his characteristics closely resemble figures found in Mesopotamian, Hindu, Norse, and other mythological systems. This raises a fascinating question. Is Paimon a uniquely Western demon, or is he part of a larger archetype found across human civilizations? By examining similar figures from other cultures, we can explore whether Paimon is a creation of medieval demonology or a reinterpretation of much older supernatural rulers. Mesopotamian and Middle Eastern parallels. One of the most widely accepted theories among occult scholars
is that Paimon's origins trace back to ancient Mesopotamian deities. Some of the strongest parallels include 1. Enki, Sumerian Babylonian wisdom deity. Enki, later called Ea by the Babylonians, was a god of wisdom, magic, and hidden knowledge. He controlled secrets of the natural world, the stars, and deep cosmic truths, attributes strongly associated with Paimon. Some scholars argue that Enki's transformation into a demonic figure in later cultures mirrors how Paimon was demonized. 2. Pazuzu, Assyrian Babylonian demon king. Pazuzu, the demon of winds and storms, was often depicted as a powerful yet ambiguous figure. He could bring both destruction and protection, much like Paimon's dual role as a source of both power and danger. His royal status in the underworld is reminiscent of Paimon's kingship over demonic legions. These ancient spirits were once worshipped as gods, only to later be classified as demons by new religious traditions. Paimon's transformation from a figure of wisdom to a feared entity may reflect a similar process. Hindu and Buddhist connections. Paimon's role as a provider of wisdom and knowledge, with a hidden cost, aligns with several figures in Hindu and Buddhist mythology. 1. Ravana, Hindu king of demons. Ravana, the 10-headed demon king from the Ramayana, was both a conqueror and a scholar. He was known for his intellectual brilliance, strategic mind, and mastery of the occult. Like Paimon, he was not simply an agent of chaos, but a figure of knowledge and power who demanded respect. 2. Mara, Buddhist tempter figure. In Buddhist traditions, Mara is a supernatural being who represents illusion, temptation, and worldly distractions. Much like Paimon, he tests those who seek enlightenment, forcing them to confront the true nature of their desires. He does not offer knowledge freely. He challenges individuals to prove their worth before granting access to deeper truths. This similarity suggests that the concept of a powerful spirit who offers wisdom at a cost is not unique to Western demonology, but a universal motif in human belief systems. Norse and European mythology. In Norse and Germanic traditions, certain figures bear striking resemblances to Paimon, particularly in their connection to knowledge, power, and the supernatural realm. 1. Odin, the All-Father and seeker of wisdom. Odin, the chief god of Norse mythology, was obsessed with acquiring hidden knowledge. He was willing to pay great prices, including sacrificing his eye to gain wisdom from Mimir's well. Paimon's portrayal as a keeper of forbidden knowledge, who demands a significant price for his secrets, closely aligns with Odin's quest. 2. Mephistopheles, European demon of knowledge. In German folklore and the Faustian legend, Mephistopheles is a demon who grants wisdom in exchange for one's soul. Like Paimon, he is not a brute force demon, but a strategic and cunning entity who manipulates seekers of knowledge. He plays a major role in the deal with the devil archetype, where knowledge comes with a dangerous price. The recurring theme of bargaining with supernatural forces for wisdom suggests that figures like Paimon have archetypal roots that span across cultures. African and indigenous spirit, kings, demon kings, or lords of wisdom appear in African and indigenous belief systems, often as trickster deities or spirits of transformation. 1. Isu, Yoruba trickster and gatekeeper of knowledge. Isu, also called Isu, is a trickster spirit in Yoruba religion who controls access to hidden wisdom and spiritual secrets. He often tests those who seek power, ensuring that they are prepared to handle the consequences. Like Paimon, he is neither entirely good nor evil, but rather a guardian of knowledge who must be approached with respect. 2. The shamanic spirit guides of indigenous cultures. Many indigenous traditions speak of spirit guides who grant hidden knowledge, much like Paimon. These spirits often demand ritual offerings and strict ceremonial respect, reinforcing the idea that wisdom must be earned, not taken.
Some cultures describe visions of royal spirits accompanied by processions of lesser beings, resembling Paimon's grand entrance with trumpets and followers. Why does the Paimon archetype appear in so many cultures? There are a few possible explanations for why so many cultures have similar figures to Paimon. The psychological theory. The human mind creates archetypes based on universal fears and desires. The seeker of knowledge archetype appears repeatedly because all societies struggle with the dangers and benefits of wisdom. The historical transmission theory. Paimon may be part of a long tradition of spirits that evolved through different cultures. Ancient Middle Eastern beliefs influenced later European demonology, which led to his modern portrayal. The supernatural theory. Some occultists believe that Paimon is not a new entity, but an ancient spirit that has appeared under different names throughout history. If true, this suggests that Paimon is not just a medieval concept, but a force that predates written history. Conclusion. The global impact of Paimon's archetype. Paimon, whether seen as a literal entity, a psychological construct, or a cultural evolution, is part of a larger tradition of spirits, gods, and demons who serve as keepers of hidden knowledge. His similarities to figures across the world suggest that he represents a universal human concern, the balance between wisdom, power, and the ethical responsibility that comes with them. Is he simply another name for older gods and demons, or is he part of a global pattern, appearing wherever humans seek forbidden knowledge? And if his presence spans multiple civilizations, what does that mean about the nature of such entities? Does Paimon still manifest in the modern world? Despite being a figure from medieval demonology, reports of Paimon's presence continue in modern times. Some claim to have summoned him through ritual magic, while others report unexplained phenomena that they attribute to his influence. This part explores modern-day encounters, paranormal investigations, and first-hand accounts from individuals who claim to have had direct experiences with Paimon. Whether these are the result of psychological suggestion, supernatural forces, or something else entirely remains an open question. Occult summoning attempts in the digital age. With the rise of internet occult communities, more people than ever are experimenting with summoning rituals. Websites, forums, and even YouTube channels document individuals attempting to contact Paimon, with some claiming to have achieved success. The 2017 online summoning case. In 2017, an anonymous user on an occult forum detailed their experience with a Paimon summoning ritual. They followed instructions from the Lesser Key of Solomon, setting up a ritual space with a chalk-drawn summoning circle, candles, and incense, frankincense, as recommended in texts. Paimon's sigil inscribed on parchment. The user reported that initially nothing happened. However, over the following days, they experienced hearing faint trumpet sounds late at night, dreams of a shadowy figure wearing a golden crown, a growing obsession with studying arcane texts. After a few weeks, the user claimed to experience compulsive thoughts and intrusive mental images, eventually leading them to abandon their occult studies. Whether this was a supernatural encounter or a psychological response remains unknown, but similar stories have been reported by others attempting to invoke Paimon. 2. The 2019 YouTube summoning attempt. A well-known YouTuber within the occult and paranormal community conducted a live-streamed summoning ritual of Paimon in 2019. During the session, they followed the traditional steps of invocation, but added modern elements, such as using a digital voice recorder and EMF detectors, tools commonly used in ghost hunting. Key events recorded: spikes in EMF readings during the invocation, strange audio interference on the recording device, low-frequency sounds resembling speech, unexplained flickering of candles despite the absence of wind. Following the ritual, the YouTuber reported a week of unusual coincidences and vivid, unsettling dreams.
while skeptics argue that this was merely a self-induced psychological effect. Others believe it could indicate a real supernatural presence. Psychological and paranormal consequences of Paiman rituals. Those who claim to have successfully summoned Paiman often report strange psychological and environmental changes afterward. Some of the most common effects include 1. Mental and emotional shifts, increased analytical ability. Some individuals report clearer thinking, deeper insights, and sharper intuition after invoking Paiman. Obsession with knowledge. Many experience an overwhelming urge to study philosophy, the occult, or sciences following a ritual. Paranoia and intrusive thoughts. A number of accounts describe an inability to stop thinking about the ritual, as if Paiman's presence lingers mentally. 2. Unexplained physical phenomena. Hearing phantom music or voices. Multiple cases report trumpet sounds, whispers, or chanting with no identifiable source. Objects moving on their own. Some claim to have seen books fall off shelves or candles extinguish themselves without explanation. Electronic disturbances, flickering lights, phone malfunctions, and sudden battery drain on devices are commonly reported. 3. Unusual dreams and symbolic visions. Many summoners report recurring dreams after invoking Paiman, often featuring a crowned figure watching them from a distance, a long desert road leading toward an unknown temple, golden sigils appearing in visions. Some claim these dreams continue for weeks or even months, suggesting a lingering connection to Paiman even after the ritual is over. Real-world paranormal cases, allegedly linked to Paiman beyond individual summoning attempts. Some paranormal investigators and demonologists have linked certain hauntings and supernatural events to Paiman's influence. 1. The 2003 Parisian occult murder case. One of the most disturbing alleged Paiman-related incidents occurred in 2003, when a small occult group in Paris performed an elaborate summoning ritual. The leader, a 32-year-old man, claimed to have made contact with Paiman and began experiencing intense mental shifts. Over the following weeks, he became increasingly obsessed with ritual sacrifices and gaining supernatural power. The case ended in tragedy when he was arrested for the murder of a fellow cult member, allegedly as part of an offering to Paiman. While mental illness was the likely cause, some in the occult community argue that Paiman's influence pushed the individual beyond reason, serving as a cautionary tale. 2. The 2011 abandoned temple incident. India. In 2011, a group of paranormal investigators explored an abandoned temple in India, where locals claimed a spirit of knowledge resided. According to witnesses, rituals had been performed there for decades. During their investigation, the team experienced equipment malfunctions, sudden temperature drops, and a low humming sound resembling a chant. The lead investigator reported a vision of an entity with golden ornaments, which later matched a historical depiction of Paiman. While no direct evidence linked the site to Paiman, some believe that older deities worshipped in secret were later reinterpreted as demons like him. Scientific skepticism versus paranormal belief. As with most alleged demonic encounters, there are two primary explanations. 1. The psychological explanation. Summoning rituals induce self-hypnosis, leading to hallucinations and suggestibility. The brain is wired to detect patterns and create meaning, making small coincidences seem like supernatural responses. Fear and expectation play a role. If someone expects to experience something paranormal, their mind may create it. 2. The paranormal explanation. Some believe Paiman is an entity that interacts with human consciousness, influencing thoughts and dreams. Unexplained electromagnetic disturbances suggest a non-physical intelligence. Ancient cultures recorded similar encounters, implying that modern experiences are not purely psychological. Ultimately, whether one believes Paiman is real or not depends on perspective.
However, the sheer number of consistent reports over centuries raises important questions about the nature of belief, perception, and the unknown. Conclusion: the lingering presence of Paimon, whether viewed as a literal demon, a psychological construct, or a force beyond human understanding, Paimon continues to be one of the most actively discussed figures in modern demonology. His role as a keeper of forbidden knowledge aligns with a long-standing human fascination with hidden truths. Accounts of modern encounters raise questions about the boundary between psychology and the supernatural. The ethical concerns of summoning remain a central theme. Is it worth seeking wisdom if the cost is losing control?
Demonic influence in historical events throughout history. The belief in demons has played a major role in shaping human events, from medieval witch hunts to spiritual warfare conducted by religious institutions. Paimon, as one of the most powerful demons in demonology, has been linked to occult practices, secret societies, and periods of intense religious paranoia. But has Paimon, or at least belief in him, actually influenced world history? This section explores his alleged role in medieval demonology and witch trials, his connection to secret societies and occult groups, how belief in demons has shaped religious and political power struggles. Paimon in medieval witch trials and demonology. During the late Middle Ages and the early modern period, 1400s, 1700s, the fear of demonic influence led to mass hysteria, witch hunts, and executions across Europe and North America. 1. The Malleus Maleficarum, 1487. One of the most infamous witch-hunting manuals, the Malleus Maleficarum, the Hammer of Witches, describes how demons assist witches in gaining supernatural powers. While Paimon is not directly named in the text, his abilities closely match those ascribed to witches, such as the power to influence minds and control people, granting knowledge of hidden arts, assisting in divination and sorcery. Many accused witches were burned at the stake based on the belief that they had formed pacts with demons, much like the ones described in medieval grimoires involving Paimon. 2. The Salem Witch Trials, 1692, 1693. While most of the Salem witch trials were based on religious paranoia, some of the accused were said to have knowledge beyond ordinary means. Several testimonies referenced spirits or demons providing guidance, a theme consistent with Paimon's role in the occult. Though there is no direct mention of Paimon in Salem records, some historians believe that his archetype, as a teacher of hidden knowledge, may have influenced how people perceived witches in early America. 3. The Spanish Inquisition and demonic allegiances. The Spanish Inquisition, 1478-1834, sought to purge heretics, witches, and demon worshippers. Some accused individuals, particularly those involved in alchemy and secret knowledge, were charged with consorting with spirits like Paimon. Evidence from Inquisition records shows occult practitioners often confessed under torture to summoning spirits for knowledge. Demonology books found in possession of accused individuals contained references to Paimon and similar entities. Those accused of sorcery were often scholars, hinting at a fear of intellectual rebellion. These cases suggest that Paimon's reputation as a demon of wisdom and power made him a feared figure in religious inquisitions, even if his name was not always explicitly mentioned. Paimon and secret societies. Did occultists worship him? Beyond witch trials, Paimon's name appears in discussions about secret societies, hidden knowledge, and elite influence. Some claim that certain historical groups practiced rituals dedicated to him, seeking his guidance for power, control, and esoteric wisdom. 1. The Freemasons and occult symbolism. The Freemasons, one of the most famous secret societies, have often been accused of practicing esoteric and occult rituals. Some conspiracy theories suggest that certain Masonic lodges, studied grimoires containing Paimon's name. Symbols in Freemasonry resemble Paimon's sigil, though no direct evidence confirms this. Rituals of initiation involve invoking knowledge from hidden forces, a practice similar to demon summoning. While mainstream historians dismiss these claims, it is true that some 18th and 19th century Masonic groups were influenced by esoteric traditions, including demonology. 2. The Order of the Golden Dawn, 19th century occult group. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, founded in the late 19th century, was deeply involved in ceremonial magic. Several members, including Aleister Crowley, explored summoning demons for wisdom. Some of their practices involved using Paimon's sigil in ritual magic, attempting to gain knowledge through spirit communication, studying texts that describe Paimon as a gatekeeper of hidden truths. Crowley himself wrote about contacting spirits to gain deeper insights into the universe, though whether he actually communicated with Paimon remains unknown. 3. Modern conspiracies about elite occult practices today. Some believe that elite figures in politics, finance, and entertainment engage in occult rituals inspired by historical demonology. Certain conspiracy theories claim that Paimon is invoked for influence over others. Some high-profile figures have been accused of participating in hidden esoteric traditions, though there is no solid proof. Symbolic references to demonic kings appear in pop culture, leading to speculation about their true meaning. While many of these claims lack evidence, the idea that Paimon's influence extends into modern power structures remains an intriguing and controversial topic. The Church's perspective, spiritual warfare against demonic kings. Religious institutions, particularly within Christianity, view demons like Paimon as part of an ongoing spiritual battle between good and evil. 1. Exorcisms and demonic expulsions. Some modern exorcists claim to have encountered Paimon's influence during possessions. Reports describe victims speaking in an unknown language, reciting knowledge they shouldn't have. Visions of a crowned entity demanding respect. A resistance to being expelled, unlike lesser demons. While many skeptics argue that exorcism cases are psychological in nature, religious authorities insist that certain cases defy natural explanations. 2. Evangelical perspectives on occultism. Many evangelical groups warn against engaging with occult knowledge, seeing figures like Paimon as a tempter who offers wisdom in exchange for a soul, a deceiver who appears as a teacher but leads people away from faith, a force behind modern interests in witchcraft and esoteric practices. For these groups, belief in Paimon is not just historical, it is a present danger to those who seek power outside of divine authority. Did Paimon influence historical leaders? Some historical figures, known for their interest in the occult, strategic brilliance, or manipulative power, have been linked, often speculatively, to demons like Paimon. 1. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon was obsessed with knowledge, strategy, and influence. He reportedly consulted astrologers and occult advisors. Some claim that his uncanny ability to anticipate enemy moves suggests he was guided by supernatural forces. 2. John Dee, advisor to Queen Elizabeth I. Dee was an alchemist, mathematician, and occultist who attempted to communicate with spirits. He developed the Enochian language, a system believed to allow communication with otherworldly entities. Some researchers suggest that his contact with spirits may have included figures like Paimon. While there is no direct evidence that these historical figures summoned Paimon, their pursuit of hidden knowledge and strategic power aligns with his attributes. Conclusion: the ongoing legacy of Paimon in history. Fear of demonic knowledge shaped major historical events, from witch trials to religious inquisitions. Secret societies and occult groups studied figures like Paimon,
seeking his guidance for influence. Religious institutions continue to see him as part of spiritual warfare, warning against his influence. Whether real or symbolic, Paimon's role in shaping human history cannot be ignored. His connection to knowledge, power, and manipulation remains a recurring theme across different eras. In the next part, we will explore Paimon's role in pop culture, film, and literature, and how he continues to influence modern storytelling.
From ancient texts to modern horror. For centuries, Paimon was a figure confined to obscure grimoires, occult manuscripts, and demonological texts. However, in recent years, he has gained mainstream recognition, appearing in films, books, video games, and even music. This chapter explores how Paimon's character has evolved, moving from a secretive figure in the Ars Goetia to a symbol of supernatural horror and hidden power in pop culture. Paimon in film and television, the horror icon. The most famous depiction of Paimon in pop culture comes from the 2018 horror film Hereditary, directed by Ari Aster. While the film introduced Paimon to millions of viewers, it also altered certain aspects of his mythology for dramatic effect. Hereditary 2018, a modern horror reimagining in Hereditary, Paimon is portrayed as the central force behind a terrifying family curse. Key elements from the film include a hidden cult dedicated to bringing Paimon into the physical world, the idea that Paimon requires a male host to manifest fully, a depiction of ritual sacrifice and possession, blending elements of real-world occultism with psychological horror. How accurate is Hereditary? While the film correctly portrays Paimon as a high-ranking demon associated with knowledge, several details were invented for dramatic effect. No historical texts mention Paimon needing a male body. The idea of a hereditary bloodline cult is fictional. Paimon's traditional depictions do not associate him with direct physical possession. He is more often invoked for wisdom, strategy, and influence. Despite these inaccuracies, Hereditary successfully revived public interest in demonology, leading many viewers to research Paimon's true history. Paimon in literature, occult fiction, and demonology books. Paimon has appeared in various novels, esoteric writings, and horror literature, often portrayed as a mysterious entity that grants knowledge at a cost. 1. Paimon in classic occult texts. Before modern fiction, Paimon was already well documented in historical demonology books. The Lesser Key of Solomon, 17th century. One of the first grimoires to list Paimon as a king of hell. Pseudomonarchia Daemonum 1583 describes Paimon's ability to teach all arts and sciences. The Book of Abramelin, 14th century, suggests that high-ranking demons like Paimon can be commanded through powerful rituals. These texts laid the foundation for how Paimon is portrayed in modern fiction, emphasizing his intellect, manipulative abilities, and demand for obedience. 2. Paimon in modern horror and fantasy books. Several contemporary novels have reinterpreted Paimon's mythology. The Grimorium Verum Chronicles, a fictional series inspired by real-world demonology. Clive Barker's Hellraiser universe. Though not directly named, some characters in Barker's stories resemble Paimon's attributes as a ruler of demonic entities. Neil Gaiman's The Sandman features various occult and mythological figures, with subtle references to demons like Paimon. These works blend historical demonology with fictional storytelling, making Paimon a recognizable name among horror and fantasy fans. Paimon in video games, a villainous archetype. The gaming industry has also drawn inspiration from Paimon, incorporating him into storylines, character designs, and lore. 1. Shin Megami Tensei, Atlas Games. The Shin Megami Tensei franchise, known for its deep demonology-inspired lore, features Paimon as a summonable entity with high intelligence and magic. A demon who grants players access to powerful abilities in exchange for loyalty. Genshin Impact Miho in the widely popular game Genshin Impact, a character named Paimon serves as the player's guide and companion. While this version of Paimon is not a demon, her name choice has led to fan theories about deeper connections to demonology. Some speculate that the name choice was intentional, hinting at a hidden role for the character in the game's larger narrative. 3. Doom Eternal ID Software. In Doom Eternal, the hierarchy of hell is explored, with multiple demonic rulers overseeing legions of spirits, a concept directly taken from grimoires that describe Paimon's role in hell. Paimon may not appear by name in every game, but his archetype as a powerful intellectual demon remains influential in the gaming industry. Paimon in music and occult symbolism in entertainment. Certain musicians and artists have referenced Paimon's name, sigil, or mythology, sparking debates about occult influence in the music industry. 1. References in song lyrics and album art. Some heavy metal and dark ambient artists incorporate demonic sigils, including those associated with Paimon, into album covers. Lyrics in certain extreme metal bands reference Paimon's role as a lord of wisdom and influence. The controversy around occult symbols in entertainment. Some conspiracy theorists argue that references to demons in music videos and performances are intentional. Others believe these symbols are used purely for artistic effect, drawing from historical imagery rather than actual occult practices. Whether symbolic or literal, Paimon's presence in music and visual arts continues to intrigue audiences. Why is Paimon becoming more popular? There are several possible reasons why Paimon has risen in mainstream awareness. 1. The revival of occult interest in recent years. Occult practices, witchcraft, and demonology have gained popularity, particularly among younger generations. The rise of internet forums, YouTube channels, and TikTok trends discussing demonology has led more people to research Paimon and similar entities. 2. The success of Hereditary. The film introduced millions of viewers to Paimon, leading to widespread curiosity about his real mythology. Many people, after watching the movie, searched for information on Paimon, leading to an explosion of online discussions. 3. The growing fascination with dark archetypes. Figures like Lucifer, Mephistopheles, and Paimon represent intellectual rebellion, wisdom, and control, which resonate with modern audiences. More people are drawn to stories that challenge traditional religious narratives, leading to increased interest in figures like Paimon. Conclusion: Paimon's place in modern culture. From ancient grimoires to blockbuster films, video games, and music, Paimon has evolved from an obscure medieval demon to a widely recognized symbol of power, intellect, and mystery. Is Paimon's rising popularity just a trend, or does it reflect a deeper shift in cultural consciousness? Are depictions of Paimon purely artistic, or do they hold a deeper occult significance? And as pop culture continues to embrace figures from demonology, how will the perception of Paimon evolve in the future? Paimon has gained mainstream popularity through pop culture, yet he remains a central figure in real-world occultism. Various modern practitioners, ceremonial magicians, and esoteric groups continue to claim that Paimon can be contacted through ritual magic. Unlike casual ghost hunting or paranormal exploration, summoning a demon like Paimon requires specific rituals. Most practitioners follow instructions from classical grimoires, while others modify traditional methods for contemporary settings. Most formal invocations of Paimon follow the structure outlined in medieval texts, such as the Ars Goetia, the Pseudemonarchia Daemonum, and the Grand Grimoire. The traditional steps generally include creating a protective ritual space, usually a circle with sigils drawn in chalk, salt, or blood, lighting specific incense, using his sigil, reciting invocation chants, and offering a gift. Unlike other demons who demand sacrifices, Paimon prefers acts of devotion, obedience, or knowledge sharing. Once the ritual is complete, those who claim success describe feeling a shift in energy, often accompanied by strange noises, temperature drops, or an overwhelming mental presence. Some modern occultists have adapted rituals to fit contemporary lifestyles, using recorded chants instead of speaking incantations, replacing physical ritual circles with visualization techniques, and performing rituals alone instead of in ceremonial groups. Many practitioners claim that intention and belief are more important than strict ritual adherence, though traditionalists warn that deviating from the established process can lead to unintended consequences. A self-described occult researcher and historian claimed to have invoked Paimon while seeking clarity on an ancient text translation. The ritual was performed during a full moon, following the Goetic instructions precisely. The researcher described an immediate mental clarity, but also a sense of being watched for days after. The translation work, which had taken months, was completed in mere hours, as if the knowledge had suddenly clicked. The individual later reported having vivid dreams featuring a crowned figure riding a camel, speaking in an unknown language. A musician seeking inspiration for composing attempted a casual invocation of Paimon without a full ritual. They meditated on Paimon's sigil while asking for musical guidance. Over the next few days, they claimed to have written entire compositions effortlessly, as if ideas flowed into their mind automatically. However, they also began experiencing intense paranoia and insomnia, describing a constant sensation of whispers just outside their hearing range. The musician eventually burned Paimon's sigil and ceased all occult practices, reporting that the strange sensations disappeared shortly after. A paranormal investigator attempted to record evidence of Paimon's manifestation using electronic voice recorders and electromagnetic field detectors. The session was conducted in an abandoned building with a reputation for supernatural activity. During the invocation, the EMF detector spiked dramatically, and the temperature dropped by several degrees. A faint rhythmic drumming was allegedly picked up on the recording device. However, the investigator reported feeling physically ill and mentally overwhelmed after the session, leading them to abandon the experiment. While skeptics argue that such experiences are psychological reactions or coincidences, those who engage in demonology insist that Paimon is an entity that responds to those who seek him. Even among experienced occultists, there are serious warnings about contacting Paimon. Unlike lesser demons, he is a king in the infernal hierarchy, and his presence is said to be powerful, demanding, and often overwhelming. Many who invoke Paimon claim they can't stop thinking about him afterward. A sense of being watched, manipulated, or subtly influenced. Insomnia and lucid nightmares, often involving visions of Paimon or mysterious symbols. Difficulty dismissing his presence. Some claim that once contact is made, Paimon does not leave easily. Unexpected manifestations, lights flickering, books falling, and unexplained noises have been reported by those who attempted rituals. Mysterious synchronicities, events aligning too perfectly, as if an external force was subtly guiding reality. Even outside of religious beliefs, many argue that summoning a spirit purely for personal gain is dangerous. Is it ethical to seek supernatural assistance for knowledge, power, or success? Could reliance on an external force weaken one's sense of autonomy? What happens if Paimon's influence extends beyond what the summoner originally intended? While some practitioners view Paimon as a neutral figure who simply offers knowledge, others warn that seeking his aid comes at a cost, even if that cost is not immediately apparent. A growing concern in modern occult discussions is whether individuals can unintentionally invoke Paimon through studying his name and sigil too intensely, repeating certain incantations without realizing their power, engaging in meditation or visualization exercises related to him. Some occultists believe that merely focusing one's attention on Paimon, even without performing a ritual, can open a spiritual channel. Others dismiss this as paranoia, arguing that only intentional and structured rituals lead to real contact. However, cases of people experiencing strange phenomena after researching Paimon continue to surface, suggesting that even casual interest in him might have unintended effects. The decision to summon Paimon is not one to be taken lightly. Whether viewed as a supernatural entity capable of granting knowledge, a psychological construct that unlocks hidden mental abilities, or a symbol of wisdom and temptation, his presence in real-world occult practices continues to intrigue, inspire, and unsettle. Those who approach him must consider what is the true cost of knowledge. Does seeking external wisdom weaken personal responsibility, and can Paimon's influence be controlled once invoked? Many who attempt to summon Paimon report lasting effects that persist long after the ritual has ended. Whether these effects are psychological, supernatural, or self-induced remains a debated topic. However, across multiple testimonies, common patterns emerge, suggesting that encounters with Paimon leave a profound imprint on those who invoke him. While some claim that Paimon grants wisdom, knowledge, and personal transformation, others warn that his presence lingers in the mind, shaping thoughts and emotions in unpredictable ways. Many who successfully invoke Paimon describe an unusual increase in intellectual abilities, rapid comprehension of complex topics, a newfound ability to analyze and strategize with extreme precision, an overwhelming need to learn, read, and study subjects they previously had no interest in. However, this comes at a cost. Some report that their desire for knowledge turns into obsession, making it difficult to focus on daily life. Others describe feeling as though their thoughts are not entirely their own, as if an external force is guiding their curiosity. Some claim that Paimon communicates through intrusive thoughts or sudden realizations. These experiences vary, whispers or words appearing in one's mind without conscious thought, sudden ideas or solutions to problems that feel given rather than discovered, a voice providing guidance, but in a detached, impersonal manner. While some describe this as a gift, others feel that their sense of autonomy becomes compromised, leading to paranoia. Several practitioners report that after invoking Paimon, they notice changes in how they interact with people. Others seem more drawn to them, listening intently to their words. They develop an ability to persuade, influence, or manipulate people more effectively. They instinctively know how to control conversations and steer outcomes in their favor. While this might seem beneficial, many warn that this ability can feel unnatural, almost automatic, raising ethical concerns about how power should be used. Beyond psychological effects, some report physical and environmental changes following their interaction with Paimon. Many claim that even after a ritual is completed, Paimon does not leave immediately. Common reports include seeing his sigil appear randomly in dreams, patterns, or thoughts, hearing faint drumbeats or trumpet sounds late at night, noticing flickering lights, electronics malfunctioning, or books moving slightly. Recurring dreams of a crowned figure, a golden palace, or a desert caravan are frequently reported. Some describe feeling watched during sleep, unable to wake up or move, being shown cryptic symbols or mathematical equations in dreams, experiencing sleep paralysis with the sensation of an overwhelming presence nearby. Some individuals claim that after summoning Paimon, objects related to him appear in strange places. Books on occult topics showing up unexpectedly, seeing his name or sigil in random locations, encountering people who, without knowing, reference themes related to Paimon. While skeptics argue that this is a form of psychological bias, others believe these events are direct signs of his continued influence. Some practitioners, after experiencing strange or unsettling effects, attempt to banish Paimon from their lives. However, many report that this is far more difficult than they expected. Unlike lesser demons, Paimon is a king of hell, meaning traditional banishment techniques do not always work immediately. Some report that even after performing exorcism-style rituals, his influence lingers. Others say they feel his presence fading, but never fully disappearing, as if he is always watching from a distance. Some believe that once Paimon has granted knowledge, he does not take it back, but the cost of receiving it remains. Several individuals have attempted to break contact using religious methods, esoteric methods, and counter-rituals. In many cases, they report only partial success, claiming that while his presence may diminish, his influence never completely fades. Dreams, thoughts, and strange occurrences continue, though at a reduced intensity. Some eventually accept that Paimon's mark is permanent and choose to live with his presence rather than fight it. Some practitioners believe that if one asks Paimon for knowledge or power and later tries to sever ties, consequences may follow. Those who gained knowledge through his guidance claim that attempting to remove his influence results in loss of that knowledge or increased confusion. Others feel that life events start going wrong, as if they are being subtly punished for abandoning the pact. In extreme cases, people report experiencing psychological breakdowns, a loss of ambition, or unexplained misfortunes. While it is unclear whether these consequences are spiritual retaliation or self-fulfilling prophecy, the belief remains strong among practitioners that once Paimon is invited, his presence is not easily forgotten. Among modern occultists, opinions on Paimon vary. Some see him as a teacher, a source of hidden wisdom who only demands respect and discipline. Others view him as a force that once contacted is difficult to control or remove. Many believe he is neither inherently good nor evil. He simply grants what is asked and allows the summoner to face the consequences. However, those who seek his aid recklessly, without fully understanding what they are doing, often regret their decision. Anyone considering reaching out to Paimon should ask themselves if they fully understand the risks involved, if they are prepared for long-term consequences, even if they want to sever ties later, if their desire for knowledge is worth potential mental and spiritual changes, and if they are seeking wisdom for enlightenment or simply for power and control. Many who ignore these questions find themselves struggling with the effects of their encounter, sometimes for years after the ritual is over. Whether one views Paimon as a real demonic force, a psychological phenomenon, or a metaphysical archetype, the evidence suggests that those who engage with him experience profound and often irreversible effects. Some claim to have gained immense wisdom and success through their connection with him. Others warn that his presence is overwhelming, leading to obsession or loss of control. A few insist that once Paimon grants knowledge, he never truly leaves, forcing individuals to live with his influence forever. Throughout history, certain individuals have demonstrated extraordinary intelligence, strategic brilliance, and an uncanny ability to influence others. Some occultists believe that these historical figures may have unknowingly or deliberately connected with entities like Paimon, a demon known for granting wisdom, knowledge, and persuasion. Could it be that some of the greatest philosophers, rulers, and visionaries were guided by an unseen force? Socrates, the father of Western philosophy, claimed to hear a voice that guided his decisions. He referred to this voice as his daemon, a spiritual presence that warned him of mistakes but never told him what to do. Some occultists suggest that this entity could have been Paimon, as Socrates was obsessed with logic, wisdom, and questioning the world's truths, areas closely associated with Paimon's gifts. Pythagoras, the legendary Greek mathematician, had a deep understanding of numbers, music, and sacred geometry. He formed a secret society that believed in mystical knowledge and the connection between mathematics and the divine. Some theories propose that his insights were not entirely of human origin, potentially stemming from occult sources or spirit contact. John Dee, the advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, was a mathematician, astronomer, and occultist. He sought to communicate with spirits through Enochian magic, claiming that angels and demons provided him with secret knowledge. His research aligns closely with Paimon's known abilities, particularly in teaching sciences, influencing rulers, and revealing cosmic truths. Some believe that Dee's intellectual breakthroughs may have been guided by demonic forces. Leonardo da Vinci was a genius in multiple fields: engineering, anatomy, art, and invention. His sketches of futuristic technology seemed centuries ahead of his era. Some occult theorists believe he was receiving knowledge beyond what was naturally possible, either through supernatural guidance or past life memories. His ability to master multiple disciplines aligns with Paimon's reputation for teaching all sciences and arts. While mainstream historians attribute these men's abilities to intellect and hard work, occultists argue that their insatiable thirst for knowledge suggests an external influence. Napoleon rose from a low-ranking officer to become the Emperor of France, demonstrating unmatched military brilliance. He had an extraordinary memory and strategic intuition, reportedly being able to recall entire battle formations instantly. Napoleon was also obsessed with ancient Egypt and mysticism, frequently consulting fortune tellers and scholars. Some believe that his ability to command respect, persuade others, and manipulate people was enhanced by an unseen force. Did he unknowingly receive Paimon's gift of influence and strategy? Niccolò Machiavelli, the author of The Prince, wrote one of the most famous books on political power and manipulation. He argued that leaders should be cunning, strategic, and willing to deceive to maintain control. His philosophy matches Paimon's association with persuasion and ruling through intelligence rather than brute force. Could his insights have been influenced by a supernatural entity devoted to power and governance? Throughout history, rulers who mastered strategy, psychological influence, and manipulation share traits that align with Paimon's gifts of leadership, charisma, and control over others. Isaac Newton discovered calculus, formulated the laws of motion, and reshaped physics. Yet he was also deeply involved in alchemy and esoteric studies. He spent years researching forbidden texts on hidden knowledge, searching for universal truths. Some speculate that his extraordinary insights may have been aided by a force beyond human understanding. Nikola Tesla's scientific advancements were decades ahead of his time, developing ideas for wireless energy, robotics, and even thought transmission. He often spoke of receiving sudden, overwhelming bursts of knowledge, as if something was transmitting information into his mind. Some occultists believe he was connected to higher intelligences, possibly even demonic entities like Paimon, who grant knowledge in exchange for devotion. Aleister Crowley, a controversial magician and author, experimented with demon summoning and spirit contact. He believed that intelligent, non-human entities could provide wisdom to those who knew how to ask. Some of his writings reference Pymon's role as a provider of deep knowledge and hidden truths. Some groups, including Thelemites, certain branches of Freemasonry, and esoteric Luciferian sects, still discuss Pymon's influence. His name appears in contemporary occult grimoires, suggesting that he remains an active force in some underground traditions. While skeptics dismiss these connections, those who study esoteric history argue that certain individuals and organizations have knowingly or unknowingly drawn from Pymon's abilities. Looking at history's greatest minds, leaders and strategists, we see patterns of extreme intelligence, charisma, and influence. Were these people naturally gifted, or did they unknowingly channel supernatural forces? Did some deliberately seek guidance from entities like Pymon? Or is the nature of genius itself something beyond our understanding, leading to theories of external influence? Whether real or symbolic, Pymon's association with wisdom and power has persisted for centuries. Philosophers sought hidden truths, rulers manipulated entire nations, and scientists made breakthroughs that defied logic. Some of these figures were involved in occultism, while others claimed to receive knowledge in unnatural ways. Could Pymon be a forgotten force that has subtly shaped human history? Throughout history, people have sought occult knowledge and supernatural assistance to gain power, wealth, influence, and intellectual mastery. In modern times, many individuals claim that they have successfully invoked Pymon and received guidance that led them to success in various fields. Some individuals in entrepreneurship, corporate leadership, and finance claim that Pymon can assist in decision-making, strategic planning, and persuasion. A successful startup founder in the tech industry shared his experience on an anonymous occult forum in 2019. He had been struggling with major business decisions and turned to demonology for guidance. After conducting a ritual summoning Pymon, he reported experiencing sudden flashes of insight that helped him reshape his business strategy. Over the next year, his company skyrocketed in growth, and he attributed it to the knowledge he received during his ritual. However, he also noted that his personal relationships deteriorated, and he began to feel isolated, as if his mind was completely consumed by his work. A high-level sales executive claimed that invoking Pymon gave him an unnatural ability to persuade clients and close deals effortlessly. He reported that after meditating on Pymon's sigil daily, he developed a deeper understanding of human psychology, the ability to anticipate what clients wanted before they said it, and an enhanced confidence that made people trust him instantly. Within a year, he had tripled his commission earnings, but also began experiencing paranoia and the feeling that he was always being watched. Many artists, musicians and writers claim that their best work has come from supernatural inspiration. Some believe that Pymon, as a demon of knowledge, creativity, and performance, can unlock hidden artistic potential. A horror fiction writer stated that he invoked Pymon during a period of creative block. The next morning, he began writing at an unprecedented speed, finishing an entire novel in just 2 weeks. He described the experience as feeling like he was simply transcribing words that were already formed in his mind. The book became a bestseller in the horror genre, and he openly acknowledged in interviews that it felt like something else wrote it through me. A metal musician claims that after attempting a summoning ritual, his ability to compose music drastically improved overnight. He described experiencing intense, vivid dreams of ancient civilizations and mysterious chants. The next morning, he found himself able to play complex guitar solos and compose symphonic arrangements effortlessly, despite having no prior training in classical composition. However, after several months, he began experiencing bouts of extreme depression and paranoia, leading him to burn his sigil and abandon occult practices. While some claim that Paimon has granted them success, intelligence and power, nearly all testimonies include serious warnings about the long-term effects. Many individuals who have invoked Paimon report unintended psychological changes, obsessive thoughts, and an inability to focus on anything except their area of success. A growing detachment from personal relationships. Frequent vivid nightmares, often involving cryptic messages, crowned figures, or desert landscapes. Some report that while their intelligence and persuasiveness increased, they also began experiencing emotional numbness. Others claim that their ability to manipulate others became automatic, making them question their own morality and intentions. Many who achieve success through occult means begin to fear that they will eventually have to pay for what they gained. Some report experiencing a series of misfortunes after trying to sever ties with Paimon, such as sudden financial losses, health problems with no medical explanation, and feeling an invisible presence lingering around them. While skeptics argue that these experiences are purely psychological, others insist that dealing with Paimon is not a transaction, it is a lifetime connection. Even if Paimon is real and can grant knowledge, many ethical questions arise. Does seeking supernatural guidance undermine free will? Is success truly earned if it is granted by an external force? What happens if Paimon's influence extends beyond what the summoner originally wanted? Some believe that gaining knowledge through demonic influence is no different from learning through natural means, while others argue that taking shortcuts to power always comes at a cost. A growing concern in modern occult circles is whether individuals can unknowingly attract Paimon's influence simply by studying his name and sigil intensely, reading and reciting parts of demonology texts, or experiencing strong desires for power, knowledge, or influence. Some practitioners claim that Paimon does not always require formal summoning to establish a connection. Instead, he is drawn to those who seek wisdom, even indirectly. There are even claims that certain individuals who rise to prominence in business, politics, and entertainment unknowingly channel Paimon's gifts, experiencing heightened intelligence and persuasion without realizing where it comes from. However, these cases are difficult to prove, as many successful individuals attribute their abilities to natural talent and hard work. The stories presented here suggest that Paimon's influence, whether real or psychological, has changed people's lives in profound ways. Some claim to have gained incredible success, intelligence, and abilities after invoking him. Others warn that the psychological and spiritual consequences outweigh the benefits. Many fear that once Paimon grants knowledge, his presence lingers indefinitely. Theories that suggest Paimon is a real, independent entity. The idea that Paimon is a human-made construct, shaped by belief and psychology. Scientific, occult, and philosophical perspectives on whether demons exist outside of the mind. For centuries, Paimon has been described as a powerful entity, a demon king of wisdom and influence, yet the true nature of his existence remains a mystery. Those who practice traditional demonology, ceremonial magic, and occultism argue that Paimon is a real, independent being with intelligence and agency. Historical consistency in accounts suggests that Paimon has been recognized for centuries. His description has remained largely unchanged across multiple grimoires, detailing his appearance, abilities, and rank with striking consistency. Unlike fictional characters, Paimon appears in esoteric traditions across different cultures, which suggests a common origin rather than a modern invention. Some researchers propose that Paimon may share characteristics with Mesopotamian gods of wisdom, Hindu deities of knowledge, and the Norse trickster archetype. If so, he may not have originated as a demonic entity, but rather as an ancient pre-Christian spirit who was later demonized by Western religious traditions. Many occult practitioners insist that they have made direct contact with Paimon, describing experiences too specific and consistent to be purely psychological. Some report that Paimon provided them with knowledge they could not have accessed otherwise, hinting at an external intelligence guiding them. If Paimon were merely a psychological construct, why do so many unrelated individuals describe similar effects after summoning him? On the other hand, many psychologists and skeptics argue that Paimon is not an independent entity, but a projection of the human subconscious. The brain is highly suggestible. If a person deeply believes in Paimon, they may unknowingly create experiences that feel real. Studies on hypnosis, deep meditation, and self-induced altered states show that the human mind can generate hallucinations, voices, and even knowledge that feels external. If belief alone can create experiences, then Paimon's influence may be entirely self-generated. Swiss psychologist Carl Jung proposed the idea of archetypes, universal symbols that emerge from the collective unconscious. Paimon may represent an archetype of forbidden wisdom, strategic thinking, and the pursuit of hidden knowledge. When someone summons Paimon, they might actually be unlocking deeper parts of their own psyche, not contacting an external being. Some who claim that Paimon improved their intelligence or success might have done so on their own, but their belief in his guidance made them more confident. Just as people gain strength from religious faith, mantras or affirmations, invoking Paimon may function as a psychological trigger for enhanced performance. In this view, Paimon is not a separate being but rather a tool for self-transformation that works through the power of belief. Scientists remain deeply skeptical about the existence of supernatural beings, including Paimon. However, some unexplained phenomena challenge traditional scientific models. Neuroscientists still do not fully understand the human mind. Some theories suggest that consciousness may not be confined to the brain. Could entities like Paimon exist in an unseen realm of thought or energy? If consciousness can interact with non-physical dimensions, then Paimon's existence as an intelligent external force might be possible. Certain interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that reality may be shaped by observation and belief. The idea of thought forms, entities created by human intention, has been explored in paranormal research. Could Paimon be a real entity brought into existence through centuries of belief and ritual? While mainstream science rejects demons, some researchers remain open to the idea that intelligent non-physical entities could exist in ways we do not yet understand. An alternative theory suggests that Paimon is neither a traditional demon nor purely imaginary, but an egregore, a powerful entity created and sustained by collective belief. An egregore is a psychic entity that gains power from the minds of those who believe in it. Over time, an egregore can become self-sustaining, behaving as an independent being even though it was originally created by humans. If thousands of people over centuries have invoked Paimon, could their combined energy have created a real thinking entity? Some occultists believe that spirits evolve over time, gaining more power as more people interact with them. If Paimon was once a forgotten Mesopotamian god, he may have transformed into a modern demon through centuries of belief and reinterpretation. This theory blends both supernatural and psychological perspectives, suggesting that Paimon is real, but only because humans have made him real. Regardless of whether Paimon is a real being, a psychological force or an egregore, The effects of invoking him are undeniably real for those who do it. If Paimon is a real entity, he may offer knowledge that is genuinely beyond human comprehension. If Paimon is a psychological construct, invoking him may serve as a powerful mental tool for unlocking hidden potential. If Paimon is an egregore, interacting with him may allow one to tap into a centuries-old source of wisdom and influence. However, there are also reasons to be cautious. If Paimon is real, dealing with him may come with unknown consequences that cannot be reversed. If he is a psychological force, obsessing over him may lead to paranoia or mental instability. If he is an egregore, interacting with him may feed an unpredictable force that could develop beyond human control. Ultimately, the choice to seek Paimon's guidance is a deeply personal one, requiring careful consideration, respect, and an understanding of the possible risks. Even after centuries of research, no single explanation fully accounts for all the testimonies, experiences, and cultural references to Paimon. If he is a real supernatural entity, then he is one of the most intelligent and influential demons ever recorded. If he is a psychological construct, then he represents the deep hidden powers of the human mind. If he is an egregore, then he is a living manifestation of human belief, growing stronger with time. Regardless of the truth, Paimon's name continues to be spoken, studied, and invoked, his legend growing with each new generation that dares to seek him. Perhaps the real question is not whether Paimon exists, but rather how much do we want him to. This may be the conclusion of our investigation, but Paimon's story is far from over. New testimonies continue to emerge. His name is becoming more widely known than ever before, and for those who dare to seek his wisdom, the path remains open.